Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Global Campfire of Coaching. This is an ongoing discussion, an ongoing global discussion between coaches and coachees and everybody who's really in the coaching space, in the space of helping professions and interested in being of service to people. And so we exchange opinions, we disseminate some information just so that we build a global community and we stand with each other in these tough times and really have the feeling that we're not alone. And we're having a very special guest today with Gabriela Schweinberger, who was my coach in the past. And Gabriela is a business coach, a trainer, a mentor, and consultant who works with companies, business professionals worldwide for SMEs as well as startups. SMEs are small and medium enterprises, just in case we need to clarify that. She's especially passionate about excellent customer service, modern leadership and team motivation, cross-cultural communication. She also speaks, how much was it? 5 languages? I'll check in with you in a second. 6.5. Unconscious bias and passionate about successful women in business. Welcome, Gabriela. So 6.5 languages, huh?
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's approximately 6.5. The half is Turkish.
Half is Turkish. All right. So let's hear the other ones, just so that we that we don't leave people in suspense.
Well, German, English, Spanish, Italian, French, and Dutch.
All right. Wonderful. Yeah. So, Gabriela, how are you doing in these very special times?
Well, I'm here located in Berlin, and well, I have to deal like everybody else with this corona crisis. I'm quite okay for the moment, as long as the crisis doesn't take too long. I'm okay. So for the moment, of course, there's everybody working from home and trying to convert my business in an online business too. I'm doing online coaching right now a lot, which works quite well and which I did before too. So that's not such a difference. But the problem is actually the workshops and trainings, which I'm usually doing at the location of my employers, and this is of course not possible anymore. So that's the situation.
Yeah. So paint us a picture. Let's go back a little bit to the good old times of 4 weeks ago. What did you used to do? What would you be doing right now if this hadn't happened? What kind of workshops do you offer?
Well, I'm actually working with all those topics you just mentioned, and this is actually what keeps me going. The variety of topics I'm covering, because I'm deeply convinced that all these topics, they are connected. One between each other. So whether it's women in business and its leadership, whether it's leadership and customer service, whether it's customer service and intercultural communication, whatever, it's all connected. So there's a broad variety of topics I can cover when companies approach me for my services. So usually I do workshops on all these topics, like very interactive, very fun workshops, I think. And I'm traveling usually to see my clients, because I have clients all over Europe, sometimes worldwide. And this is what I usually do. And I do my coaching, business coaching here in Berlin, especially in person, and I do it online when I work with companies. And I'm doing a lot of mentoring for startups, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I remember, so I usually live in Kenya, and I remember that you visited Nairobi once, and we almost managed to meet. But what was the project about there, if you wanna give us a brief snippet?
Well, I was 2 times in Nairobi and also in Rwanda, where I was mentoring for a Berlin-based organization who are supporting startups in bootstrapping their business, and I used to work for them as a mentor, helping them to get their business straight. And for me, it's a super challenge to work with African startups, because I cannot just go as a European or as a German mentor, go there and tell them how to do things. That just simply doesn't work.
Yeah.
So the most important thing for me in this mentoring business is to listen, ask questions again, listen, ask questions, and help them solve their problems by themselves. I can just give them ideas or assist them, especially in what I do, coaching, leadership, and team building, and so on. And I use when I go abroad, I used to offer free workshops for women in business. So this is what I also did in Nairobi, which is actually, I have to say, I'm the one who learns the most. So I just facilitate practically these workshops where women are invited on the business environment, startups, corporates, whatever, and I make sure they exchange their knowledge. Because the knowledge is there. They don't need me to tell them how to cope with the challenges in their life.
Yeah, so glad to hear you say that because, the white people coming down to Africa and trying to tell people what to do, that we've done that and that we've done that with disastrous consequences. And it's great to have a new approach. And like yourself, I teach coaching sometimes in Nairobi. And what I love about coaching is that it's really something to help people make their own decisions, right? So it's really about empowering people there and especially helping them discover all the resources they already have. And exactly like you, I learned so much, and it's such a humbling experience. And it's a pity that Africa is always portrayed, at least in the German media, as this continent that's receiving aid and receiving help, and we never really see how much is going on there, what an amazing startup scene there is, a technology scene, the banking sector is huge.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mentored several startups, one of them in Rwanda, which is a fintech startup. And I went there to give them coaching and give them a team training. And it was really a humbling experience. And I can fairly say this was not any different from any workshop I would have done in Germany or in France or in Denmark, whatever. Because it was like the spirit was just the same. What's always different, but I just need to cross the border and go to train in Belgium. It's just the same that you need to be very, very aware of intercultural differences. And this starts already with countries like Belgium or or Netherlands, which is, you think they're so close, or the Austrians or the Swiss people, you think they're practically like us Germans, and they are not. And there's a very, very thin line which you can step over this line and then you're killed.
For sure. And you don't even have to cross the borders. I mean, just go to Bavaria, go to Cologne, and coming from Berlin, it's intercultural communication, honestly.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. So my intercultural knowledge I gained by traveling a lot, working abroad, and so on, which helps me really, really to take the step back and being more humble for the opinions and the approaches of the teams I'm working with. So it's all the time. It's not about me. It's not about my ideas. It's not about me. It's about them. So I just bring it up I lift it up. Their knowledge, their ideas, whatever, it's there, and I just help them to work with it and deal with it. That's practically all.
Yeah, wonderful. So seeing as that is, not possible right now, and from the energy that you bring into describing it, I can really feel that that's something that brings you joy and you have a lot of passion about it. So since that's not in your life right now, how are you coping with that?
Well, I'm practically from the first day I started to prepare myself to do these trainings online, because I don't know why I didn't have much experience with it, but I had experience with coaching, one-to-one coaching, so I know how to deal with this challenge to do interactive exercises with my clients. And I was so convinced from the first moment that this is possible online, the way I want to do it, because I hate all these webinars where you just see screens and you hear somebody talking, and I just hate it. But nowadays it's so easy with Zoom or other tools to have interaction, and it can be so much fun. I used my time to participate in a lot of online workshops. The last thing I did was a workshop on what was it called? it was practically, it was drama, socio-drama, exactly. So it was a lot about role play, and I was laughing so much. I was a participant, and I was like, I want this. I want this for my teams, the teams I'm training. It should be really tiny little bits of spoken information or of written information, of slides, of drawing something, of role play, of breakout rooms, of still work, of whatever. So, then I think this can be really, really fun. And I offered it to some of my clients, but the problem is my clients are not prepared. And these are big clients sometimes, and they are not prepared. And even with the big clients, it's even like with corporates, so it's even a bigger problem, because if they didn't do that so far, they have all these data issues, and they cannot implement quickly such kind of tools. That it's easier with very tiny little customers with like 5 people or something like that, or 10 people. It's easier to do that team training. So this is what I will do quite soon, and I'm sure I will go on doing it even if the coronavirus is extinguished and we can go traveling again. Because it's also a resource problem, because like traveling all the time, I mean, we spend so many resources, and if things can be done in a better way, why not? I'm looking so much forward.
Absolutely. I think this is a great opportunity to kind of be forced to step out of your comfort zones, try something new, and then see what you want to keep from what you've learned for when things return to, maybe not return to normal, but get settled in a new normal, maybe to
Yeah,
be more
yeah, yeah,
versatile and to have more options
yeah,
available. Yeah.
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 I mean, that's what I used to do, to step out of my comfort zone in my own workshops. So I always make a plan, and the plan is just there to be kicked up,
Yes.
and do what the team needs and not what I think should be done. So this can change a lot. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. So how are you practicing self-care right now?
Phew, that's an issue. It's an issue, and it's an issue for me because I'm actually like talking to my clients all the time about self-care.
Mhm.
And my boyfriend, he laughs so hard about me because he says, "Oh, don't you do that yourself?" So I know exactly what to do.
Yeah, do his
And
essay,
then I
not his
don't
tattoo.
do it. Well, at least I can say I will start my first online yoga class on Thursday, which is the first step after nearly 4 weeks that I'm here at home. The first 3 weeks were completely crazy because I had to to organize a lot of things, and I still had online clients, which and I got more clients online, which I had to organize. So, and a lot of assisting other people and trying to get through all the information and so on. So the first 3 weeks were completely crazy. I was not bored at all, but I mean, I'm used to working from home, but now everything was just online, and I was a little bit stepping over my own borders in what I can stand. So I felt really tired. Yeah. And I noticed, I said, yeah, that's not going on like this. So I started to run again, which helps me a lot. So in Germany, we can still run.
Mm.
We can go out for sports, which is really good. So I'm trying to take a little bit more care of my health, and I'm cooking more than I did before. So it's okay. Yeah, it's nice. And of course, conversation with a lot of people, which I cannot see personally, is also very important for health.
All right. So noticing, checking in with yourself, and then kind of
Yeah.
consciously creating new habits to support yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's usually what happens to me if idea in a new project, I totally forget about my mental health, my physical health. I'm so excited about it, and I want to do it all the time, and I forget to sleep and do it and everything. So that's a little bit a personal story,
Yeah.
but it
No, I
also
hear you.
gives me a minute.
Yeah, for sure. The thing is that's sustainable for only so long, right? At some point we have to kind of
Mhm.
fill up the cup that we want to pour from.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So
So I
speaking,
promise.
yeah. So speaking of pouring from the cup, how are you taking care? How are you serving your tribe? So the people that are most important to you in your life.
Well, actually, I'm so I'm kind of not only supporting my tribe. I get such a thing going on that I want to support as many people as I can. So I'm very active online in social media and trying to spread information. This is and good information. This is what I do a lot. What I spend a lot of time in spreading valuable information, going against fake news, for example, and even in my inner circle, which hurts me the most. So, but this is what I do a lot, and I'm in several networks where trainers exchange information about their current situation on how could we do all this, cope with all this, and do it online and so on. So I'm very active there. I'm very active as a mentor, and I try to always overlook a little bit all the people in my broader network where I can see somebody is struggling. So I just for some hours or so on, I dive into this issue and I try to talk to the person. I try to help this person, and then I'm out. Though this is not, it's not always a big thing. Which I'm doing. It's a lot of small things, trying to put people back on their feet, and this can be in very different ways, like giving them a little coaching or practical help, just a little bit talking to their soul, whatever. Yeah, and it strengthens. It's tiring on one side, but it also strengthens my mental health. Yeah, my well-being. Yeah. So I like this very much. It's also a lot of time, very time consuming, but it's very beneficial for me too. I always say I try to change the world, nothing less, but I only want to change it as far as I can spit.
Ha! Interesting. Think global, act local in a way.
And now I shouldn't spit actually.
Right, yeah. At least not when people are around.
So as far as I can reach out, let's say.
Yeah, well, same thing. Um,
Yeah.
shouldn't be touching too many people that way, but I can tell that you are touching a lot of people in your life in many other meaningful ways. What are some projects, maybe your own, and maybe somebody else's, that you've noticed that you feel are really important right now and deserve mentioning here?
Oh, sewing face masks.
Ah,
Yeah, so I'm sewing face masks and I'm supporting people who are sewing face masks, and just very simple ones, quick ones. So I try to give other people doing that a lift because I have a car, so I can give them a lift with organizing some more difficult issues with bringing something from A to B, or also things people need, people who have health issues. So this is very simple things I do, and I'm sewing every 5 minutes I have free. I'm sewing face masks. So this is my biggest project right now, and bringing my trainings online. Yeah, it's not that big, but I think it's important. Yeah.
absolutely. And how did you learn to sew them? Do you have maybe a link to a YouTube tutorial or something that we could put in the show notes?
But actually, I'm preparing right now a tutorial for another group, which is a group women all over the world, and they want this tutorial too. Though it's yes, I can prepare something. Yeah,
Wonderful.
it's quick and dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of quick and dirty, we said we're going to keep it short. We're already kind of
Mhm.
struggling with that. As a last question, what is the one thing you would like people to take away from this conversation?
Well, think I'm a very optimistic person. Yeah. And all the time, that's in my genes actually, and I see so much more good things in this crisis, and so much more incredible things, positive things going on than I see bad things. I see how the people stick together, support each other in an incredible way. And I think this is something we should take away and we should more focus on, and not just on the negative things, because what's going on right now in terms of humanity and human behavior in a positive way is really, really amazing. If you want to see it, you see it. Definitely. Take action. Take action in small things.
All right. Wonderful. That's the perfect word to leave it at. I'm not going to add anything. Thank you so much for your time, Gabriela. You can get back
You're
to
welcome.
sewing those valuable face masks.
Yeah.
Um, it was a treat to talk to you again. And yeah, let's stay in touch. Thank you so much.
Thank you.